Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Science Unlocked. And just like our previous videos, here I am with all of you so that we can move ahead with something different, with some new concepts. And just like the previous ones, this particular topic will going to be related with the science, and at the very same time it will be related with your day-to-day life as well. So how are we going to reach to the topic? Now we are just starting it, and just like the previous cases, I will be showing you certain pictures and we're going to have a question answer session with all of you, where I will be quoting certain questions and you can pause the video in between so that you can make your own answer. You can assume certain answers to the questions which I am asking, and then we can move ahead with the concept which is related in this particular topic. So the very first pair of pictures right in front of you are these two pictures. Now this first picture over here is basically bread which has these green colored substances or green colored structure over the corners or the edges. And on the second picture right in front of you, we have the particular packet of bread which is kept inside the refrigerator. So obviously these two particular pictures are related in the manner that they both are talking about the breads. But you can see this thing that in case of first, the bread is having a discoloration. On the other hand, the first one, the second one is not having any kind of discoloration, and that is because it is kept in the refrigerator. Now the next set of pictures that is right here with us is the cooked food and uncooked food. The one over here is the cooked food, but of course again you can see that it is not in the edible form, because if I'm going to keep this kind of rice or cooked rice in front of you on your table, so in that case you are not going to eat it, because you will say that ma'am, it is not good for eating. On the other hand, if I'm going to keep this particular uncooked rice in front of you, you will say that ma'am, okay, we cannot eat it, but at least I can cook it and make it edible. Now what are the two things, what are the common things which are like in the two cases or the pairs that is in front of us? Now the common thing is that there are certain situations which leads to the spoilage of food. Yes, that is what exactly is going to be our topic today, that is spoilage of food. On the other hand, we will be working on the preservation of food as well. So we are starting with this particular chapter, and the name of the chapter is specifically preservation of food. But as we are not going to preserve something if something is not getting spoiled, that means that in this particular chapter, that is preservation of food, we are going to first of all look into the cases or the situations which are responsible for the spoilage of food. Means we are going to find out that how exactly food gets spoiled. So what are the reasons behind this thing? Now there are four pictures right in front of you, and what is their specificity? First of all, this picture we are going to talk about. Now some of you must be saying that what exactly it is, we cannot understand it. Of course you will not be able to understand it, because you have not seen such a thing before in your life. Some of you might have seen this thing, but not all of you. Why is it so? Because this is the microscopic view of fungus. Yes, this is fungus, and wherever there is a growth of fungus, then this particular situation is considered as mucor. Yes, any time any kind of food which is having any kind of growth of any kind of fungus, because fungus have different varieties, that is why I am specifying that any kind of fungus can grow over there. Specifically these are the mold kinds of fungus, but that is of course another concept which is related with the science. Right now we are working on the food concept. So let's get back to our topic. So over here, this particular picture right in front of you is basically the microscopic view of fungus, that is mucor. Now What exactly is the microscopic view means? That when we are going to observe this particular fungus from the microscope, then we are going to get such an image. Now, why are we going to require microscope for this? Because this particular category of organism, that means fungus, this is a type of microorganism. Means it is going to be a small organism, so small that you cannot see it from your naked eyes. That is why you need a microscope. That is the device with which we can see things which are smaller in size. Now, such a similar structure right over here is the one which is in the purple color, right over here. Now, this is basically what? This is bacteria. Now, the bacteria is also one of the reason which leads to the spoilage of food. That is why we have made it here. Now, you must be thinking that are this bacteria and fungus same thing? Then the answer to the question is yes and no. Yes, in the manner that they both belong to the category of microorganisms, and no in the category that their life cycle, their production process, their habitat where they are going to reside, they are going to be different. That is why they are different in many manners. Now, the third category that we have here is of different kinds of insects like mosquito, cockroach, it can be house fly, it can be some other kind of fly which you see around your house, or like there is a fruit fly as well, which generally is found in the site where the fruits are getting rotten up. So these are the different kinds of insects which are responsible for the spoilage of food. Means they are going to make the food unfit, or they are going to damage the food. And last but not the least, we have the category of rats and rodents. Means mice are also included over here. This is again a category of organisms, but rats and mice are the ones with which you can relate with other than rodents. So what are the main factors over here? First is the growth of fungus, that is mucor. This is also known as fungi or fungi. Some of us call it fungi, some of us call it fungi. So I am preferring the term fungus. It is one and the same thing. Now, the next category is growth of bacteria, next insects, and then we have rats. So these are the major factors or reasons behind the spoilage of food. Means these are the ones which are going to spoil the food. Now, what exactly are the environmental conditions which are responsible for this particular situation where the insects can get attracted, the rodents can get attracted to the food, the kind of bacteria, the kind of fungus is being attracted, or the growth is taking place in that particular food article or food item we are talking about. Now, the reason is two things. Okay, the reasons are two in total. Now, what these things are? First, the room temperature. That is the very first reason responsible for the growth of bacteria or attraction of these kind of factors which leads to spoilage. And the second one is presence of moisture. Means these are the two factors which are going to lead to the either growth of microorganisms including both fungus and bacteria, or attraction of insects, or attraction of rats or mice. Now, what exactly are the things, specific things related with the attraction of insects? What happens is that the main factor is, it is the moist food. So wherever you are going to see any kind of moisture, it will lead to attraction of either the microorganisms or the insects. Now, what exactly is the reason that these two situations, the moist temperature and moist environment and the room temperature, basic room temperature. Now what happens is, for any kind of biological process, now why are we quoting biological process? Because the growth of microorganisms and attraction of insects, they both comes under this particular category, because they are related with the biological organisms, means they are related with the living organisms. So the fungus, the bacteria, rodents, insects, what are the factors over here? Now specifically I am talking about the growth of the microorganisms, the room temperature and presence of moisture. What happens is that these are the favorable conditions for the growth of these microorganisms. So let's take one example with which we can understand that what exactly the favorable condition means. Now, if I am going to ask you to read a particular book, let us say a poem, or let us say a paragraph from a book, but at the very same time I am not going to give you the book, or I am not going to keep the room enough lighted so that you can read that what is actually written on the book. So that way what will happen, that the situations, the conditions are not favorable for reading. Or let us say you are having some sort of headache, or you are having some sort of pain in your eyes, then of course you will not be able to read it properly. Another factor which is going to affect this particular task is that, let us say the book which I am going to give you for the process of reading or the purpose of reading, that particular book is in a language which you don't know. For example, we all know Hindi and English languages very well, and we can read and write with this particular languages. But let us say we are talking about Chinese, that is completely different. Or let us say we are talking about Bengali language, that is completely different. That means the conditions are not favorable. So for the growth of microorganisms as well, the conditions are to be favorable, and these are the conditions which are favorable conditions. That is basic room temperature and presence of moisture. Now we are now back to the topic, that is the factors. How come these factors come up and spoil the food? Okay, now what happens is, in case of insects, they are going to get attracted towards the moist food, because it makes it like sort of attract these organisms, these insects. On the other hand, what happens is the cooked food is going to have the same criteria, because normally what happens is, once the food is cooked, we're going to keep it in the normal surroundings, in the normal room temperature. On the other hand, we know this thing that for cooking purposes we require water, and wherever water is present, there are going to be moisture there. So that is what happens is the case of spoilage, means these are the factors which lead to the spoilage. Okay, now what happens is, if something is happening in the nature or maybe in your surroundings, then you need certain sort of indicators for that. Means there should be some sort of indicating factors which are going to give us the idea, okay, that this thing can happen. For example, if you are sleeping in your room and suddenly your fan or your AC is not working, in that case what will happen, that you will not going to feel the ease and you will ultimately wake up from your sleep. Now what are the factors? The factor is that you started feeling unease, or you started feeling warm in the environment, which led to the disturbance of sleep. So these are such kind of these things are known as indicators. So similarly, for the spoilage of food as well, there are certain indicators, and I have listed here 3 indicators. The very first of this is change in color, means whenever there is any kind of discoloration, that then we can say that the food is spoiled. Next, the foul smell, means any kind of unpleasant smell coming out of the food, then it is considered as the spoiled food. For example, if you know that you love a particular burger or let us say you love something very specific, like I love pizza at all, like a lot. And so in that case what happens is, I know that what exactly is the fragrance or the smell which I'm going to get from a completely and properly baked pizza. Or what will happen in that case, that I can actually have it. But if something is kept in front of me and the person who has kept it for me is saying that this is a pizza, but I am not getting the same familiar smell from it, and I am getting something very unpleasant smell, then in that case what will happen, I am not going to eat it, because I know the exact smell of pizza, I know the exact smell of french fries, I know the exact smell of the paneer curry. So what exactly is happening over there? It is the smell, the senses, that is indicating that the food is not okay. Now the last and not the least is the one which is the change in taste. Because what happens is, there are certain cases, there are certain situations where the presentation is such that you will not be able to find out the change in color, you will not be able to smell it properly, or you can say you cannot smell the differentiation between the foul smell or the different kind of smell from the actual smell is very least, you can say is very less, minimum. So what is going to happen, the last indicator will going to help you out, that when you are going to take the very first sip of that drink, or if you are going to have the very first bite of that food, you will identify that the taste is not familiar to you. Then again it is the situation where we can say that the food is spoiled. So this is what exactly are the factors: the foul smell, change in the color, change in the taste, and change in the shape. So these are what indicators of spoilage of food. Now, one important aspect, why do we need to find out that a particular food is whether spoiled or not? Now the reason behind this is that if you are going to eat food which is spoiled, in that case what will happen, you are going to face a medical condition which is known as food poisoning. Generally what happens is that food is something which is going to help us in our growth, and we are taking it for the energy and betterment of our body. But when the same thing which is supposed to help us and which should make our body better and good, it is harming us, it has started harming us, then in that case we call it poison. And similarly we are going to make this particular terminology, that is food poisoning. When a particular person is going to eat the spoiled food, it leads to this particular medical condition which is known as food poisoning. And what are the symptoms over there? The symptoms are stomach ache, diarrhea, fever, and vomiting. So these are what the factors are, or you can say the symptoms are. Again over here also we are finding certain indicators, that what are the indicators that which can tell us that okay fine, the particular person is suffering from food poisoning. So that is how the importance of proper food, or you can say the completely cooked food, and it should not be spoiled food, is relevant to our daily life. Because if we will not be able to find out that the food kept right in front of us is of good quality or not. So this is something which we need to understand and we should know in our daily life. Else what will going to happen? We will going to face the problems like food poisoning. So with this we are ending this particular class, and I will see you soon with our next session. Till then, stay healthy, stay yourself safe, stay home, and keep learning. All the best.